former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, has reacted to the death of student leader Sharif Usman Hadi, hitting out at the Muhammad Yunus-led interim government. In an email interview with A&E, Hasina said the killing of the youth leader underscored a growing culture of violence under the interim administration. Launching a series of blistering attacks from exile, Hasina has slammed the interim government in Dhaka, blaming the death of Usman Hadi on the lawlessness that she says has multiplied under Yunus's rule. She says that violence has become the norm and that the interim government has either failed to act or is powerless to stop it. Such incidents, she explains, destabilize Bangladesh internally and undermine its relationships with neighboring countries. She warns that when basic law and order cannot be maintained, the country's credibility on the international stage collapses, reflecting poorly on Bangladesh as a nation. On the upcoming polls, Sheikh Hasina warns that the elections without the Awami League will not be true elections, but a coronation. Hasina says that Yunus governs without a single vote from the Bangladeshi people and is now attempting to ban the party that has been elected 9 times by popular mandate. She stresses that millions of citizens will be effectively disenfranchised if such a ban is maintained. According to her, any government emerging from this process will lack the moral authority to govern. She emphasizes that her own past, present and future have always been linked to the safety and security of Bangladesh, and she wishes to see the country elect a leader with legitimate authority. On the controversial ICT verdict, Hasina describes the judgment as having nothing to do with justice and everything to do with political elimination. She states that she was denied the right to defend herself and was not allowed to choose her lawyers. According to her, the tribunal was used as a tool to conduct a political witch hunt against the Awami League. Despite this, Hasina maintains faith in Bangladesh's constitutional institutions, expressing confidence that once legitimate governance is restored and the judiciary regains its independence, justice will ultimately prevail. Sheikh Hasina also spoke on the extradition demands from the Yunus administration, calling them desperate and politically driven. Hasina expresses gratitude for India's continued support and hospitality, highlighting solidarity from all Indian political parties. She says her departure from Bangladesh was to prevent further bloodshed, not from fear of justice, and she is willing to return once proper governance is restored. Speaking on India-Bangladesh relations, Hasina states that the current diplomatic strain is entirely the result of Yunus's actions. She accuses his government of issuing hostile statements against India, failing to protect religious minorities, and allowing extremists to influence foreign policy. Hasina emphasizes that India has been Bangladesh's most steadfast friend and partner for decades. She expresses confidence that once legitimate governance is restored, Bangladesh will return to the sensible partnership cultivated with India over the past 15 years. Hasina also highlights the rise of anti-India sentiment, attributing it to extremist elements emboldened by the Yunus regime. She notes that these extremists attack the Indian embassy and media offices and continue to threaten minorities with impunity. She underlines that India's concerns regarding the safety of its personnel are fully justified. According to her, a responsible government would protect diplomatic missions and prosecute those who threaten them, but Yunus has instead granted immunity to hooligans, portraying them as warriors. On relations with Pakistan, Hasina reiterates Bangladesh's principle of friendship toward all and malice toward none. She believes it makes sense for Bangladesh to maintain stable relations with Pakistan, but she criticizes Yunus for seeking such alignments without a democratic mandate. Hasina stresses that the interim government has needlessly alienated long-standing allies and has no right to make strategic foreign policy decisions that could affect generations. She emphasizes that once free elections are held, Bangladesh's foreign policy will return to serving national interests rather than ideological fantasies imposed by extremists. Regarding statements about India's northeast and the chicken's neck, Hasina describes such rhetoric as dangerous and irresponsible. She warns that these statements reflect extremist influence and do not represent the views of the Bangladeshi people. According to her, strong ties with India are essential for trade, transit, and regional stability, and reckless talk will end once democracy is restored and responsible governance returns. Hasina also speaks about extremist influence and security concerns in Bangladesh. She says that extremists have been placed in cabinet positions, convicted terrorists released, and radical groups allowed to take roles in public life. She warns that radicals are using Yunus to project a false sense of legitimacy while systematically radicalizing institutions from within. She stresses that this is a matter of concern not only for Bangladesh but for all nations invested in South Asian stability. She underlines that Bangladesh's secular character was one of its greatest strengths and must not be sacrificed to the whims of extremists.